a little bit out of sorts with this new roster. And that's what we saw at the LCK Cup. And symptoms still kind of there here, but it's a good start, as mentioned by the desk in that first game. We'll see what they can do now that first pick is on their side.
Yeah, might help a little bit. I think it's also going to help that the Pantheon very much fell flat in that first game. So both these teams won't have to really worry about it, as Pantheon took his first loss here of the week, now 4-1. Karma, once again, going to be banned, as well as first ban Bard against Keria. Definitely a good idea. But
feels less painful to drop that Bard ban in game 2 when you have first pick and so many of those OP champions are gone. Rise is taken away, no more Rumble. So I think picks like Yunara, Lulu are going up. Faker will lose his Orianna. Again, the Azir is already gone.
I was kind of hoping they would ban Seraphine so we could get 3 support bans from the first pick team. And just be like, yeah, this is the world we're living in.
Well, if T1 bans Seraphine or Ashe, I think Yunara becomes very obvious. If they do not, we could even see Guma pick up first pick Ashe. I think he is a player that can carry on that pick and would warrant that level of priority. They will ban it, so it may just be Yunara on the cards here. Now, if you are a Guma fan, and if you've been watching, haven't always been convinced by his Yunara performances, and I think that's part of why T1 are like, I'd rather see that side of this. They know him quite well, his champion pool quite well. Not to say that they can't play Gnar, but there have been some big dips in performance on the pick. Jarvan will be instead the choice, and this will be one of the best, junglers that's left, as well as a big deterrent of a Sivir pick. But now T1 can just take the Yunara on their side.
Or the Varus as well. Still left up, still very strong, also technically flexible. Could be something you look at. Not sure if you do want to pick a face up into the Jarvan, and they're just going to pick Gnar.
Okay. Very safe.
That's kind of the state of the top lane, where it's like, yeah, we got to get something blindable for the top lane.
Yeah, everything that is safe and blindable is what you slam down when you have questions elsewhere. You don't have to lock a jungle in right now, so, well, Oner.
Okay. We did see Lee Sin banned against Pyoshik a couple of days ago.
Now, I don't mind either of these picks in isolation. However, this does not feel like a strategy. I don't see the strategy.
Early.
I don't see the strategy, Valdes. I see 2 champions. Like, if it was solo queue game, I'm like, nice, yeah. I check Oner's OPGG. I'm like, oh, that looks pretty
it's
good.
Like 85% win rate. We're like, wow, yeah, okay, absolutely, play that. But yeah, it doesn't.
Like, they get Yunara Lulu, and now you can't get a strong Varus duo into this. You can't get the Lucian duo because you picked Lee Sin. Like, this looks like a case of, like, Doran was trying to swap in solo queue for counter pick, and the guy kept denying, so he just locked Gnar, and he's like, well, I guess I'll blind this. I don't know.
Yeah.
This is just a little bit unusual. Now, I'm not saying they can't win with this, but I look at the Hanwha Life 1, 2, 3, and I'm like, wow, that's really good in meta.
Yeah. Really insane stuff, and Annie is going to come through, so this is a case of where they do want to go ahead and pick the top side of the map early and, save bottom lane for later, but yeah, Annie Lee Sin can definitely do a lot of damage. You could be very proactive with that mid-jungle duo, and then you have the blind Gnar, which really... I do wonder if they'll go for something aggressive to try to punish it, but Aurora already off the cards. We'll have to wait and see what Zeus wants to play in this game.
I don't think Zeus will end up with like a top Silas in this game, which we have seen into the Gnar actually more commonly than you'd expect recently.
Mm-hmm.
Corki will be banned, so no Corki Nami in the bottom 2v2. The Lucian threat, I feel, isn't that strong right now on this patch. And otherwise, you're looking at that Varus lane. Aphelios, a little bit of a surprising ban here in this draft, but it does scale really well with what T1 have put together thus far. So, almost begging them to see if they'll play the Varus.
Yeah, I think that's what they're trying to decide on now.
I mean, you also don't get any counter picks with second pick here with this draft for T1. Like
Yeah.
they already have their bottom duo set up. I mean, it's just, okay, what duo are we playing? We lost the Corki. Is it just going to be Lucian Nami? You get the Lucian, and you still already knew the Lulu was there, so they get to now have their pick of the litter on both solo lane counter picks here, and they have one of the strongest bottom 2v2s in the game. So I feel like a lot was missed here in terms of what T1 was trying to do early, but we'll see what the execution looks like. This would certainly be something.
Yeah, Kali, also technically flexible. Could play in the top lane, but you would expect this to go in the hands of Zeka. And instead, he's just going to play Taliyah.
I mean, with the Lulu, this becomes such a heavy pick comp with the Jarvan so quickly. And it still has great team fight power and the rotational power of this Taliyah for side lane pressure.
What did he mean with that face?
I mean, is he playing Gangplank?
Zeus, we know as a player, can play a whole host of weird stuff. Into the Gnar, and it's just going to be good ol'.
It's
Vayne.
kind of fair, though, this time for Doran, because he's playing a ranged top as well.
Yeah.
Is it Nami? Or it's Nami. We already knew. So
Ron? No, it's Nami.
there isn't really anything you could pick in this situation where you're like, aha, I could pick this and still win the 2v2 and also deal with Vayne in the top lane. I suppose Keria could take Exhaust to try to help out in the bottom 2v2 and try to put down the Vayne, but, you know. T1, when they locked in the Gnar and the Lee Sin, we were kind of like, all right, well, there's going to be a whole lot of strategical depth to what happens later on in this draft, but they still ended up with a playable 2v2 bottom lane. Very volatile one at that. Peyz looked great on the Lucian as far back as Kespa Cup joining this team. So is very aggressive in the 2v2. Again, they left the Yunara Lulu, I think, in part thinking that they could win against Guma's Yunara. Like, they had that confidence. And we'll see if that does hold true here. The Lee Sin is kind of this wild card pick in this draft that has a lot of power, a lot of agency. And if it was almost anybody else but Oner, I would scoff at it, but because it is Oner, and he has made so many incredible mechanical plays, it's like basically him and Canyon only, where I'm like, yeah, let's see what you got. Or maybe more recently Raptor, but I don't think he's in the same tier. This draft has some pick potential, but it really needs to come online early. Otherwise, this is a 2-carry composition here for the side of Hanwha Life eSports that has great pick potential.
Yeah, does feel very nice from their end. Probably the best chance they're going to get at a win in game number 2.
미니언들이 생성되었습니다.
Hanwha Life esports fans definitely desperate for a victory to try to push this to a game 3 where anything can happen. I really do feel like, draft-wise, there is just so much going right for the side of Hanwha Life esports. On the side of T1, it's definitely still playable. There's a ton of pick potential, a lot of power in the mid-jungle duo. You have tons of burst with ADC Lucian. Like, if you get ahead, you can really punish them very hard. But if this is an even game, I do like Hanwha's chances.
I think that when I look at T1's draft, it screams, we do things our own way. We don't have to follow the rules of the meta. We don't have to follow what's accepted to be strong or true. We're playing what's comfortable for us right now, and it just happens to be because we have such mastery of these champions, we will make it work. Barrier popped here.
Yeah, barrier and heal, and so Keria is going to throw out his as well.
So
and they're really fighting for level 2.
Peyz maintains barrier advantage. That's actually pretty huge in this bottom 2v2, especially if they got 2 first. They will not. Doesn't end up mattering too much. But actually having that extra barrier, if Guma drops Q, for example, Peyz absolutely has an all-in angle. Intense 2v2 here in the bottom lane.
Yeah.
Fleet footwork for Zeus as well as Ghost on this Vayne. Makes a lot of sense in this matchup.
Yeah, for Gnar, that's you don't really get to play the game. You do get to farm under the turret most of the time, but it's not really a fun experience. We saw Zeus is kind of humming and hawing. He was like, am I really going to play this Vayne? And then we got to see Doran, and he did not look very happy. So at the end of the day, probably the right choice.
It'd be pretty crazy to get a 230 plate here.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, if you consider the composition of T1, if they go all in onto one target, let's say they take out the Vayne, you still have Yunara. You know, that's part of why these double AD carry compositions are very popular nowadays.
It's pretty similar to what KT did with their Lulu comp, right? Where they had the Lulu Vayne and the Nocturne, where the Nocturne was also the engage tool. And it's it feels like Hanwha Life eSports really taking a page out of their book, which was successful against T1. Won't talk about that, but a plate did not yet go over to Zeus, but he still has 200 gold the advantage because Doran is just trying to get the minions as best as he can.
Yeah, with Kanavi down on the bottom side of the map, looks like Zeus is just going to respect the Lucian in this game.
Yeah, Doran going to set up a freeze here so that he can just keep the wave in a threatenable spot. Oof, it's a tough one though here for this Gnar, as you can see. At least he didn't get stunned into the turret there.
Yeah, he's still got the silver bolts into him though, the 3 stack, and that's just going to be an early back from Doran. Oner looks like he was spotted on his way to mid.
Cull buy for both Peyz and Guma, as Peyz uses barrier later and a later trade, so Guma will actually get his back up first. This doesn't hit Gumayusi, so zooming in on this lane incredibly closely, as there hasn't really been any jungle attention just yet. Both of these junglers can make pretty strong impact 3-6, but we're going to see Zeka with the first roam, with control vision in the river here towards the top side, try to get Zeus further ahead. He will be spotted.
Let's see how this one's going to go. Doran does get stunned up, and now just trying to avoid the stun. There it is. He does get away from that, but the damage might just be enough. One auto from Zeka, and it's first blood for him. Faker up on the top side, but he's just a level 5 Annie. And I think, yeah, he's just going to have to back away. He doesn't quite have the damage just yet.
He's got to be super frustrated because the alternative was he just pushes mid and maybe grabs a plate at least. You know, Crystalline Overgrowth procs, pushes his quest up ahead a little bit. He instead just comes up here and catches Doran's wave, and we'll still get some farm out of it, but not really a win in any regard. And Taliyah can surf back to lane pretty quickly, so not really a trade-off here for Zeka in any meaningful way. Doran does have flash in this situation. You can see still gets shoved, goes for the hop. Kadem actually almost knocks him into the wall there. That would have been disastrous, but even still Zeka can flash to avoid the turret shot. Now they're looking for Keria.
Yeah, Keria is going to flash it though. The damage is not quite there actually. The dive is kind of going wrong, although Zeka is here now, and I think eventually they should kill these guys as Peyz does go down. Zeka very low. And it looks like Keria as well, not very long for this world. And once again, Faker's here, but a little bit too little too late. So that's a double kill for Guma on the Yunara.
We mentioned Taliyah so many times. This pick has a lot of agency, a lot of roam power. It just hasn't been working that much here in LCK Cup domestically. But now that we move into LCK 2026, this is a pretty high impact performance from Zeka because he saves the day here, so to speak, when this dive goes a little bit awry. Delight takes all the turret shots he can, but level 6 gets hit here for Zeka so he can Weaver's Wall in. And unfortunately, despite some heroics here from the bottom duo, and Keria's initial flash was great, they are going to get taken down, and Faker is too late, and Oner is nowhere to be seen.
Yeah, Oner just hanging around the top side a little bit, and then eventually just went back to farming.
The problem with losing lanes is that, you know, sometimes you can't really... Like, if he just leaves Doran alone up here, then Doran is just going to lose more and more. He's already down almost 500 gold. If you just can't bottom side, then, you know, that's what's going to happen to Doran. But if you keep ganking for Doran, then the bottom side can be quite problematic with a roaming Taliyah. Okay, we're going to see Oner try to make a bottom side play here. Level 6, very far away for Delight. If he had it here, the defense would be a little bit simpler. Needs a few more minions before that wild growth is going to be at the ready.
I don't think they have enough of a wave.
No.
Like, especially against Yunara, like, this is just not really... I mean, they're going to try again, but Peyz is super low. Yes, he does get healed up. And
I don't know about this.
on
Oner's
vision. I mean, you asked where Oner is. He's really trying to do something, but...
And now he shows here, right?
Yeah.
And they're going to make the top side play potentially. I mean, they can't kill Doran, but he still can't kill the minions, Valdes. So his first pick, Gnar. not quite working out.
I mean, it's just really difficult. Like, there's just not much that you can blind. I feel like Jace is really the only thing.
Oh, we're just going to get excited about this graph.
Yeah. But yeah, it does feel like, you know, as what it was saying in the pre-show, like, there's really just not a lot of blind picks nowadays. And so you just get punished so hard. And T1 were like, well, the only thing that's left is Gnar. We have to get it out early so that we can, you know, pick other stuff while still getting a blind pick. And now it's just getting punished so hard. It just feels really bad. Guma's flashing on in. And they are going to get that kill on a Keria. And maybe even Peyz, level 6 hits. And the barrier does save his life just barely. But it's still not winning for T1 as HLE are dominating the bottom lane.
Oner tries to make a pass on Zeka in the mid lane. Then we'll just have to take some grubs here as consolation, which is something significant in return. But the question becomes, when will T1 champions hit turrets anyways in this game, as Baker was given some alone time in the mid lane to take out that first plate with Crystalline Overgrowth. There might have even been with Oner coming there just moments before, but otherwise, the turrets are kind of untouched right now for T1. See, we'll get those and the Scuttle Crab to put a dent in the gold deficit, but you and I had questions about the draft. I had serious questions about the gnarly sin. And they have certainly become a bit of a pain point here in the second game, as this is just a wild growth setup with the slow here from Guma. Slides in with ult, flashes through for the wild growth, does not get enough damage done here to Peyz. Was looking for both of them, and Peyz with barrier will barely survive, but that is the only good news here for T1.
Yeah, it's not feeling very good for them, and hey, you just got to be careful. I mean, Yunara does have nice pick potential of her own with that Slurkle. And, you know, that's all Guma had to do, essentially. The second Keria got out of position. That was it. And Tiber's going to go down very early after Faker uses that for just pressure in the lane. Oner still trying to find somewhere to make this Lee Sin find value outside of farming the jungle. It's not necessarily his fault. It's just, it really isn't a good option. I think that mid could have been looked at, but Zeka spent so much time out of the lane in the top lane that, you know, there wasn't a lot of setup to try to make something happen there.
Kanavi is just finding ins where Oner is unable to respond. See if they can do something here.
Yeah, Zeus, I think he knows he's kind of...
He's got Ghost and Flash.
Okay, well, he is going to be spotted, and there's the kick into the Q, and no avoiding that. Zeus doesn't use any summoner, as he knows he's dead.
With Kanavi coming over, thought perhaps Zeus was going to look for an outplay. Yeah. Peyz? Guma wasn't sure he was going to win that, but Peyz was sure he was going to lose it.
Nami has healing, you know, okay. It's okay. A little bait as Faker was walking down the river, I suppose.
Zeka does have Weaver's Wall, but instead he's just going to opt to say, look, it's still a winning trade, despite it looking funny, and I'm just going to get plate gold. As Kanavi is pretty far away here, you can see he's coming through, and they see him on a control ward, so they know they have enough time here to extend this play, despite Zeus trying to get a little alcovey here. And honestly, I think even if he flashes back, they still get him.
Oh, got a little play down here. The bubble on Aguma. The wild growth is there, but he is so low as down he will go. There's the shutdown for Peyz, and now another kill as Oner. He does get some value on this Lee Sin, picks up a kill. And
Baker doesn't show up, gets to get a free plate in the mid lane. And that was a big swing here for T1 there on the bottom side. Kanavi will defend this turret and will grab some of these minions, but really unfortunate for Guma and Delight. Down flash. Faker's just going to drop the bear to even annoy Kanavi. And Taliyah a little bit too late on the play to impact the bottom side. Teleport's available for Zeus now. Here in this top lane with his role quest completing. So we'll watch this one more time here. Peyz takes a lot of damage, but I mean, there's a control vision here for Oner. I suppose somewhat forgivable here for the Hanwha Life duo, but if you don't have vision there, you got to be a little bit more cautious. And Zeka was coming down.
I think a little too aggressive from Guma. Kanavi is going to find Peyz in the bush, and Peyz does not have his culling, but a huge chunk into them already. Keria looks like he wants to continue things. The bubble has to be flashed. And just like that, big rotation from T1 up to the top side. They're really trying to fight their way back into this game and be proactive with this comp. I think you have to be.
I think it's the best they could do, and it's kind of working. You know, I wouldn't give them a lead in this game by any means, but it started to look pretty doomed from the outset, but with a few great rotations and a great punish there in the bottom lane. Keria is once again kind of the hero of the day on this Nami, grabs the flash out of Kanavi. TP here is going to delay.
Oh, Zeka, he's going to be caught big time here, has his flash. No opportunity to use it, and Oner on this Lee Sin showing why he picked it up so early.
And the first turret is going to go over to T1 as well here on the top side because they defend the bottom turret with the TP from Doran. And things are starting to really go wrong here for Hanwha Life eSports, no longer with a gold lead.
Yeah, it's kind of insane. I mean, they were really in control of this game, and then all of a sudden, in the span of about 2 to 3 minutes, it's like T1 just wrench it back, the control of this one.
And like, it's similar to game one, right? You know, Hanwha had a pretty nice lead. Things were going really well, and then Guma makes a mistake in game one. Guma makes a mistake in game two. This one, just a really good angle from Oner. They have so much deep vision on the top side of the map after what they set up just moments before, and he just decides to wrap all the way around, and Zeka doesn't have an opportunity, like you said, to use flash.
Yeah. And Kanavi was there, which explains why Zeka was playing so aggressively for the pick. But Lee Sin is faster, as it turns out. And Oner's able to get in and do the damage and essentially separate the two Hanwha Life eSports members before Kanavi can do anything. As at least Hanwha Life eSports will say, well, we got the first couple of Drakes, and it's not going to be Ocean Soul this time, as the Ocean Drake was first. I'll have to wait and see what it is. As Oner's here, though, so kind of being annoying on Lee Sin, but eventually it does go down to HLE, and it's Cloud Soul.
All right, so we went from Ocean to Cloud. Bit of an upgrade. Pretty good for these comps. Doran is going to have free reign in this top lane. The Vayne doesn't necessarily scare him as much anymore. Guma still has a massive lead, which is why Hanwha Life eSports have a gold lead in the first place, and a lot of the money here for T1 is on Lee Sin. So it was exciting that they had the big gold comeback. It was exciting they were able to make those picks work, but there's still 2 dragons down. This Yunara is still incredibly powerful in team fights. And the game is a lot more even than it used to be, but Doran may be caught here. Zeka on the angle.
He does have flash, and let's see if he can get out of the rocks. Yeah, he's just going to flash away from that one as the... I'm not sure about that one, Zeka. He is going to get kicked away as the Q comes down, and Doran is so strong on the Gnar, he's going to hop on over. And Oner picks up his 4th kill as the bubble's so close to getting Zeka. And, man, really reaching to try to kill the Gnar with flash, and they get punished once again.
Flash and hop available. And it's okay, like, Zeka's holding his shove because he's like, let's see what he does. Maybe he flashes, maybe I can make something happen and punish that and get a shove off. And then eventually he's like, I'll shove for flash. Then he commits Weaver as well, and Kanavi and he go in, and I'm like, but you got his flash, and I think that's as good as it gets.
Yeah, I don't know.
We've seen this movie before.
I feel like, you know, game number 1 did happen. You know, we were here, we saw it, but with the way that Oner's playing on this Lee Sin, maybe he just has to get POM. I don't know if they end up winning this one 2-0.
It is a big question, right? I mean, Zeka here is just like, guys, I'm trying to leave. I did get his shove, or I did get the flash of my shove. I'm going to push Keria away.
Yeah, flash bubble.
He TP'd for that, so they wanted to make something of it, but it just did not work out. Peyz down 1,200 gold, takes half of Guma's health bar, and I mean, even if Hanwha were ahead on gold, I wouldn't believe the lead.
Zeka doesn't have flash. Oh, everything's going to miss. Okay. As now we go aggressive right into the bubble as Guma flashes away, but is still going to die. Peyz comes in and shuts him down.
His ankles were broken, Valdes! It's a bit of a yikes, and Keria gets the bubble again. He has to flash away. And some of the calls here in terms of confidence with the Yunara versus Lucian have been all over the place for Guma this game. And he got aggressive at the wrong moment, but now that lead is washed away as well. Like here, watch this. He's at half health, but he's like, I got Wild Growth. Is not able to set up the Wild Growth onto Peyz, gets bubbled instead, and then has to back away. And Peyz just like, all right, I guess I'll take the freebie, flashes for it.
if you're gonna go that aggressive, you have to flash the bubble. Like, there's just no excuse for that, you know? If the bubble's coming in and you have flash, like, if you get hit by it, you die. And that's exactly what we saw.
And now he's down flash as well on this Yunara. The one part of this team that could feel like it has a chance to really carry consistently in this game still holds a small gold lead, but it's like a fifth of what it was.
Yeah. And now T1 all of a sudden, like, this is the reverse snowball going very aggressively in their direction. They get the Rift Herald, and Oner is just, just going to drive around the bend. You didn't see this one coming, did you, Hanwha Life eSports? I don't think I've ever seen that. It was pretty
Safety.
cool.
Zeus is just dead.
Oh. All right, well,
I mean, Zeka's
that's
like,
the first damage.
Zeka's like, you know, interestingly, there's no one here topside. I guess they'll get a turret. And both soul laners just kill Zeus, and they'll get a turret in exchange. As this mid turret took a huge hit from the Rift Herald.
It's so insane how, like, Hanwha Life eSports were so far ahead and how quickly this game, and then they got so deflated. Like, it's like someone took a needle to a balloon and just popped it.
Yeah, I mean, just T1's having better team play, better rotations around the map. You know, the play from Guma has not, it just has not backed up the lead he had, right? Like, he hasn't been able to do anything with it. And he and Taliyah played a little bit timid at times, a little bit over-aggressive at times, and they were given and gifted such a huge advantage that it felt like the game was going to be unplayable for Peyz. And yet Peyz is like, I win these, kill these.
Wait, he could have just ran away.
No, he wanted to defend the turret, I guess. I don't... Gnar said it best, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think we can all learn a little bit from Gnar and what he had to say. I mean, he had the stealth, he had the ults, you just run away, you live.
With Serpent's Fang here for Peyz, by the way, it actually gives him so much more power in this mid lane in the duel. It's a pretty cool pickup here for Peyz into the Lulu.
Now, it feels very strong as a 2-atom spike after the Storm Razor. Insane amount of burst damage. And it does look like T1 will pick up a dragon.
Yeah, first dragon here for T1. There is team fight power in this draft for HLE. Like, trust me, believe me. there is.
Yeah.
It's a good draft. However, with the game state and the, I don't know, I don't want to say nameplates on, but with the eye test, let's say, I'm not ready to trust just yet that this is going to work.
That's the thing about the nameplates on thing for HLE is you were talking about all the different styles they have with all the different players coming from many different directions. Like, it's not quite a super team, but they have so much experience and so many strong players, and yet, you know, there was a lot of hope for them with their 2-0 win over Bro. And now up against T1, you know, we said we had to see how both these teams were going to look today. HLE do not look much different from LCK Cup, and we can see that here.
And I thought, to be honest, even though they beat Bro, I didn't think it looked that much different against Bro either, as Doran is just gonna peace out.
Oh, the flash and the condemn will be enough as he's going in. He wants a kill, actually. Maybe a boulder to get it done, as the wild growth has to be used just to keep them alive in the 3v1.
And it's so many resources have to be used to kill Doran that the rest of the map is on lock here for T1. They get a big shove in mid. They're going to take this Raptor camp away. And Baron Vision is maybe next on the agenda. There is a Scuttle Crab here residually for Hanwha Life eSports for the time being, but it's a small win to grab Doran, but it didn't lead to anything else on the map. Instead, it's T1 who gets a lot of deep vision and will have a lot of information. Doran did TP and does not have flash anymore, so that could compound a little bit potentially. But the secondary threat of Zeus' Vayne, though he is the only other lead here for Hanwha Life eSports, feels like it's so far away from reality right now. Game is still relatively close. I think Hanwha Life eSports win one major team fight. I'll be right back in the driver's seat, but I'm not holding my breath, let's just say, as Guma's looking for his third item, IE. He does not have it yet. He will definitely have it for the next dragon.
Look at the builds here for Doran as well, going for the Randuin second into the Vayne and the Yunara. It's double 80 carry, and you're up against Taliyah, who isn't that much damage. We've seen that be her biggest issue in the LCK, is that she just doesn't do enough damage, and theoretically the 280 carry should be enough, especially from ahead, but if you've got a decently fed Gnar that got through the lane and has Randuin's. Like, are they really going to be able to deal damage to him? I don't think so.
Well, the other question is, can Hanwha Life eSports muster a 5v5 team fight where everyone's grouped on the same page? Because you need to have both carries there with Cataclysm setup, with shove setups, and a Wild Growth angle for Kanavi to kill Peyz. If you can kill Peyz, you know, Doran's not going to feel that tanky when he's being hit by 280 carries. If Doran, though, is the one who's able to manipulate the fights and set things up with great setup Gnars, right, with deep vision they have and prio on objectives, then the game plan gets a little bit trickier for Hanwha Life eSports, right? Because Peyz is such a massive burst threat that if he can kill either Guma or Zeus, and then Doran's kind of tanky, and then he, you know, gets another rotation of spells off and kills the other AD carry, that's when you have a problem. And there's so much setup CC here with the Nami, with the Annie more than anything else, but Gnar and Oner can help isolate a single target. And if Guma dies first, you're really going to have problems as Zeus cleaning up the fight into all of this threat. And I think for Hanwha Life eSports, you really need to strike first and then let your two carries clean up.
Yeah. We saw that Oner was second most gold on his team, behind the AD carry, of course. And, you know, generally we don't like to see leads on Lee Sin, but with Oner playing it, I think I'm okay with it. I think, you know, especially for this point of the game, you know, we're definitely not in the late game by any means, and with Lee Sin this fed with nearly 3 items, you know, 2.5, I think he can actually do a ton of work, and there's really not much that HLE can do about him.
There isn't. Zeka is going to lose some health here. I don't know if this is really what Peyz was 100% looking for, but they just want to get this turret, and I don't think they will. But there's just not much to do here until that next objective spawns. Faker has a full push in mid that they're going to have to answer to. Setting up for Prio on Dragon is so incredibly important. If you are able to get that as T1, it feels like it's a freebie, and you've already got so much control over the top side of the map. I don't think Hanwha Life eSports can sneak a Baron at this stage. See if Guma can pick up IE. With 25 seconds to go here, that would be massive. I think he probably does have it, and that means he's ready to carry a team fight. He does lock that in, so this is probably the game-deciding fight.
Yeah. You know, everything considered up until this point, like HLE have not played well, but if, you know, they play one team fight well, there's still a chance for them. You're not super far behind.
They are looking to threaten that Baron trade for Dragon that I was talking about, but T1 are covering both of their bases. They're going to have Oner solo the Dragon while they group here and say, you don't have enough prio to actually start this in turn, even with IE on the Yunara. Your Taliyah just doesn't do enough damage. Bit of a flank here for Zeus. And T1 is calling the bluff to like, yeah, I know you're not doing it. I know you're not doing it.
Yeah. And they do have a lot of experience in this exact moment.
And
a very important moment.
Dragon's done. Oner soloed it, and now they're going to start the Baron. And now, guess what? Oner's going to come over. Doran has 16 and TP.
He just lost Gnar, I do believe, but might have it off cooldown.
So they got him off the lane, but now what?
Well, at least they got the TP. That's really all you can say.
The T1 are like, is this my Baron?
Is this Baron for me? All right, nice dodge there. Sidestep from Peyz. And he's been quietly having a very strong game himself. Doesn't really have the gold lead to show for it, but...
When was the last time you were sure Hanwha was going to win this game? For me, it was probably when Guma had the flash play in the bottom lane and got the kill there and pushed Peyz out. That's, for me, like the last moment where I was like, I favor HLE here.
Yeah.
Since then, it's kind of been completely downhill. There has just not been even a single moment where you're like,
yeah,
ah, yes, I see the angle.
Well, they popped the balloon, you know? Like, the balloon was floating up. It was, you know, going into the sky, but then they popped it, so... Take a look at this massive lead that Oner has over Kanavi.
Kanavi's still going to go in on him and push him out, though.
Yeah. There's really only so much you can do as Jarvan in this case. Like, there's no world where you can ever fight a Lee Sin 1v1, so you're kind of just running around looking for an angle.
Yeah,
you know, like a good Cataclysm angle, and that's about it.
He doesn't really like the champions that get over walls like Lucian, Lee Sin, and Gnar.
Like the whole team. Yeah. Not feeling great about that. He like goes in, gets stunned by Annie immediately.
And T1 get a control word on this Baron, and they're like, you know what? Let's just send it, because they have no ability to rotate over. Zeus does have TP, but nowhere to TP to, and this is just, I think it's
a
freebie.
Yeah. Dalek comes over, sees it, they're like, eh. I guess it's just gone. Yeah, I mean, Kanavi's like running over. He's like, maybe I can. No, you can't get there on time. It's already gone. T1 take it down. And just like that, I mean, there's really not much else that HLE are getting either. I mean, they have Zeus in the bottom lane. And he's just going to have to back based on the timing. So T1 pick up essentially a free Baron.
Doran is going to grab this turret right away. Kanavi takes so much damage.
Yeah.
Actually insane, as Peyz has spent so much of this game just farming first strike as well.
Yeah.
And he's got his lead. You know, it's taken him a large part of time, like almost 30 minutes, to get that back painted blue, but he's got it.
Ooh, Peyz. Well, he did the damage, but he did have to use his flash for it in the tidal wave, I suppose. Guma's super low now. Doran looking for that Mega Gnar. He's going to flash on in, get stunned and killed. So kind of between a rock and a hard place there was Doran. Zeka gets in as the Cataclysm is good. Everybody does have to dash out of that one. Peyz also getting burst down by Zeus, who's going ham. Wants that kill on the Lee Sin, and he will get it 1,000 gold. As all of a sudden, HLE wake up.
Yeah, and Kanavi's still going in. They're going to get this turret here at TP. They want more. The four grouped here, they have to shut down this Baron completely. And just in the blink of an eye, and an aggressive Gnar play going wrong. Kanavi,
Okay, well,
that's okay. He survives. It's fine.
calculated.
Yeah. He got Faker's stun. Faker's got to press his buttons again before he can do that one more time. All right, well, we got the inner. We got a gold lead. And maybe, Valdes, that was the moment where we get a series on our hands. I'm not actually seeing it yet. I'm not trusting it yet, but look at the gold graph, all right?
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of like flickering,
So-
you know, I can't really tell.
Doran here is trying to set up for a Gnar play, and I don't fully he avoided Kanavi, let's say, with that one. He did not have his Gnar bar. If he hits like a 4-man Gnar, maybe they smash the fight. There's a great follow-up, and then Kanavi has his Cataclysm still. Guma gets bubbled. It's another great play from Keria, by the way, but it's still enough damage here. Oner gets taken out, and now this is just a freebie for Hanwha Life eSports in terms of the push here through mid. Baron is still up for Faker and Keria, so they are able to get this turret back on respawn, but do we really trust that that means that Hanwha are going to win the next few team fights? Because that was kind of a mistake from T1, a bit of a donation from Doran, and
You got to be careful, you know, playing in a long lane against a Vayne. If, you know, they still do have a lot of chase potential with Jarvan, Taliyah wall, and obviously Vayne, who can just run you down. So mistakes like that for T1, if you do it again, you will get punished big time, like we just saw.
it's going to be a third Cloud here for Oner, and for the best rotational team, basically in League of Legends history, having 3 Cloud Dragons feels a little bit unfair. They are going to have that, and that movement speed is valuable. Guma not having flash, Zeka not having flash, Zeus not having flash. These are things I'm very concerned about if we have any type of fight, any type of skirmish, any overextension here from Hanwha Life eSports, because they're feeling the pressure, they're feeling the desperation in this game. They want to get some serious permanent damage to the base done. Doran picks up Sterak's. He has gotten such aggressive defensive itemization here in this game. It's difficult to kill him, but if you overextend like we saw before, it is possible. It's Hanwha Life eSports to get this blue buff and hold on to a minuscule gold lead. Basically dead even in this game. Weaver's Wall here a little bit sussy. A little bit weird.
Just kind of strange.
Can we get a WA TV on that one?
Yeah, it looked like they really wanted to pull the trigger on an engage once again and maybe use the momentum they had from the last team fight, but
Doran is...
ball came out and then they called it off immediately.
Doran, as you mentioned, is Kanavi.
Kanavi, got to be careful. Looks like he doesn't have his flag drag, but
Oner doesn't have flash to kick him or anything either, so I'll just walk it off. But Doran in this game, you mentioned the itemization. He got Randuin's. He's like, the Taliyah can't hurt me because she doesn't build damage. Does have Horizon focus now, so getting a little bit more damage, but he's just like, don't mind it. And the Vayne can't do damage to me. Is Guma? I don't know about this one.
yeah, he walked back in. He's like, by the way, I have Mikhail's on my support. But also now he doesn't have much health. And now he has
no
even less health. And that's going to be him ulting.
He got a
Get out of here.
He got a Tibbers, Valdes.
Yeah, value.
He's still got his barrier, but Delight's still got wild growth. It was a trade-up play.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what you're insinuating. He's 600 gold ahead.
You know, maybe if the Baron was about to spawn and he was able to get like a back and then, you know, they could run at the Baron, perhaps? Soren's like, oh, that was a little scary. A little bit of a jump scare there in the bush.
All right, we are heading to a late game fight that will decide this game. Whether it will be on this Baron or not is yet to be seen, but 40 seconds till it spawns. Hanwha Life eSports, despite some big wins and some gold swings, have not been able to get enough controlled vision around that pit to where you feel confident that they can actually contest a 5v5 fight. However, they do have Kanavi with GA, Flash, he is Jarvan, so T1 starting it off right now without getting a pick or without getting further control would be very risky. And this dragon doesn't spawn for 2.5 minutes, so we're really just fighting for nothing here.
Well... We're fighting for our lives if you're Gumayusi. That's what we're fighting for. And I guess Baron about to spawn, they can just run at this. And now Guma is going to have to stay with basically no health. Peyz is a moving fountain laser right now.
And if that Q from Oner hits on Guma, you could make a real argument for him to press Q again and try to kill him there. He does have barrier wild growth, but we've gotten so much out of it. They have so much vision around this Baron pit, and Kanavi going to take a huge hit. Now T1 in full control.
Oh, they're trying to go for something, but Zeka just going to get blown up. He's just gone, and Guma's alone. Delight's like, please don't kill my AD carry. But they will. And just like that, Hanwha Life eSports, one splash in the pan in this game, and that was about it. And I think it's just done from here. It's only Zeus, and T1 will look to push mid.
I'll give them 2 splashes, okay? They had the early game,
yeah,
and then they had that one moment where they said, Doran, that's illegal. We will punish you.
They're really trying to punish Zeus here. Send a message, perhaps. But the game is still over. At least it should be, as we're TPing to keep the minions alive.
And it wasn't the cleanest win here in Game 2 for T1. The draft definitely raised some eyebrows.
They did it in style, you know?
Yeah, they certainly said, look, this is what we do. We're T1. We win our way. Can't kill Zeus in the end, but they kill the second Nexus. And the people like myself who really doubted the draft when the draft ended, the people like myself who really doubted the draft after those kills in the bottom lane and a Vayne that was in the top lane are pretty quiet right now.